Hello and welcome to Healing for Life Together, Powerful Healing with Expert Practitioners. My name is Lauren Brem and I'm here today with Mary Shields, PhD, and she's going to be talking about her upcoming seminar with Healing for Life Together, The Planets and Us, Staying Centered While Moving. Welcome, Mary. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm so excited to be talking with you about your upcoming seminar.
Same here. I'm really excited about this seminar. When you all talked about it with me, it was really an exciting thing. So thank you so much.
Yeah, sure. Many of us in Body Talk have done Module 6 and learned about the planets, and obviously there are tons of people out there that study astrology and are so fascinated by the planets and their effects on us. But I don't know that anyone's done a seminar quite like this, where participants are going to be getting sessions for 6 weeks in a row, specifically on their relationship to the planets. I mean, this is really unique.
It is. I've never seen anything like it either.
So, yeah, we really don't know what's going to happen, right? But
exactly.
Yeah, well, Mary, for people that don't know you, could you tell us a little bit more about your background and specifically how that ties in with working with the planets and centeredness and some of the themes of this seminar?
Sure. My background is actually in Hebrew Scriptures and Old Testament, and so I have a lot of background in philosophy, religion, comparative religions, and that kind of thing, which is very close to some of the more archetypal kinds of things that come in with planetary things. I'm going to talk about that in a bit, but I have a lot of background in reading of mythology and religious texts and that, and all of that comes into play with the planets. So that's one piece of that. And over the last few years, I've gotten more and more interested in the effects that the planets have on us. I knew years ago that the moon had an effect on us. When I was in ministerial training, I did a summer program where I was actually on call, often during full moon, and the ER was full, the hospital was full, and in the other times, things were really calm. I'm like, okay, so what is this all about? And I learned from that about the moon's energies and how it affects us.
Oh.
And so I've been interested ever since.
Yeah, no, it is fascinating. I mean, we're always just being drawn back to like the planets and wanting to understand the effects on us and reading our horoscope and all that. Can you talk a little bit more about the effect that the planets have on us? Like, why does the moon make everything crazy? What do these big kind of rocks floating around in the outside of our planet, why do they have an effect on us?
Well, the why question I really can't answer. I just know that they do. We know that the moon has an effect on the tides, and there's gravitational pull, and there's a whole science behind this that I really haven't done the study of. But we also know that just like we have the gravitational pull with all the other, with the sun and with the moon, we have that same kind of pull with the other planets. And so just like the macrocosm is reflected in the microcosm, so the microcosm is reflected in the macrocosm. So just like the moon affects us, we also know that Jupiter affects us and Saturn affects us. And of course, it's become a big deal these days that Mercury affects us. We have people that actually go in hiding for Mercury retrograde. Which is a little crazy, but that's all right.
Yeah, no, but it's true. You hear people that are very aware of that, and it affects, what action they take and whether or not they sign contracts and who they communicate with. And but it sounds like, the concept in Body Talk is that we can come into harmony with all of those energies and actually, like this seminar says, stay centered while moving. Can you talk about what happens when we're in harmony with an energy like Mercury as opposed to not being in harmony with it?
Well, if we're in harmony with an energy like Mercury, let me go back a little bit and just talk about the actual meanings of the planets, because we have learned that each of the planets has archetypal connections with us, and they've taken a lot of these from mythology, so that's why they're named after the Roman and Greek gods, Mercury, Pluto, Neptune, all of that. And so Mercury has to do with discernment. Mercury is the messenger. And so when Mercury goes retrograde, that is, it goes reverse in our planetary wandering, it looks to us like it's
Looks
going
to us.
backwards instead of
Hmm.
forward. Then all things to do with communication and all things to do with messengers, all things to do with that can go haywire, or at least will be a little bit different than you expect.
So when we're in harmony with it though we can have, even though that's the energy of it, is that communication is being interrupted or dwindling. It sounds like we can still, um, there's two experiences we can have with that. And can you explain a little bit about what that looks like?
Yes. So if we were in disharmony with it, everything would go haywire. And we've experienced that, right? Whenever the computers go off, the telephone goes off, you've got everything going wrong. If we're in harmony with that, and we're also taking time in our own lives to go inwards during that time and doing our own internal communication, then we are not going to be as affected by it.
Hmm.
We aren't going to be we won't be affected in sort of the negative ways that people talk about
Hmm.
Mercury retrograde. And it isn't something to be scared of then.
Yeah, yeah.
Does
Well,
that fit with what you were asking?
yeah, no, absolutely. And this actually ties in with my next question, which and you have this incredible background of studying all of these archetypes that we all have reflected, in us. They're all a part of us. And so, and a lot of us in Body Talk have heard this line from Carl Jung that says that the planets represent all the psychological knowledge of antiquity. So really with this course, it must really be deepening our understanding of other people and really ultimately of ourselves as well. Can you talk a little
Yeah.
bit about that?
Yes, it should be helpful in us understanding other people, but more importantly, I think it's going to be a much more deeper understanding of ourselves and where our psychological ideas, awarenesses, and all of those things come from, and some of the outside influences on those, both, as I said, microcosm from the planets themselves, but also in our individual experiences with others in daily life.
Hmm. Yeah, it
And
sounds.
that's
Mhm.
where that whole movement while staying centered came from, I think,
Hmm.
because we all want to stay centered in our work and in our lives. But the planets are always in motion. We're always in motion. So being able to move with and going with the ebb and flow of all of that and still have that center, that core, is really important for life.
Hmm. Yeah, it sounds like being in harmony with all of that movement internally might look like improved circulation. Being able to allow for movement to happen in our bodies and also maybe in places where we're resisting movement in life as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I would think it would even affect our connective tissue, our muscles, all the things that need to be in movement and also at stasis sometimes.
Mm. Excellent. So, Mary, if there were a few people that you might want to reach out to with this seminar and say, "Oh my gosh, you have to take this planet seminar. This is so going to help you." Who are those people? What pathologies or issues are they walking around with that you think this seminar would really help them with?
For me, that's interesting. I hadn't really thought about that question. Where would I go with that? Uh,
It could be, for me, I think in hearing what you were talking about, it sounds like someone, you talk about knowing ourselves and that full
yeah,
spectrum. If we have, the Jupiter archetype in us, as well as the Mercury, as well as the Pluto and Venus and Mars, there's really a deeper knowingness of yourself that comes about. And then also with that, things that flow and move in the body, it seems like if someone's dealing with a lot of stagnation, either feeling stuck in their life, not feeling centered,
yeah,
having circulatory issues. Do you want to expand on that?
yeah. Well, actually, I think that was a really good example of what this would actually work with. But as you were talking, I was also thinking about how one of the things that Dr. Veltheim has really addressed is that the planets govern different parts of our body.
Oh,
So,
great.
and particularly our spine, but also our connective tissue or our water, or like the moon would govern our water. And Jupiter governs the sacrum, and Mars governs the lumbar spine, and Venus governs the thoracic spine, and Mercury governs the cervical spine. So really, when we're dealing with the planets, we are actually literally dealing with every part of the body and how it works together. So it's really hard for me to narrow down a particular pathology. The circulation seems to be probably the strongest one I would sort of pick out of all that. But I think also spinal alignments and spinal connections can be really important.
Yeah, I hadn't even thought about that. But staying centered while moving, the spine is the center of the body. And so many people, we've done seminars in the past on just on the spine, and releasing the spine. And what an amazing way to get to break it down and kind of go through the spine and work on the different areas.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. Awesome. Yeah, I'm excited for that. So what
can I just add one more thing about that?
Yeah.
One of the new planets, Chiron, is called the Wounded Healer. Oh. And most people who are in healing work have deep wounds that have needed to be healed so that we can, so uncovering all that and healing all that is really important for us to show up as healers. So for those who are practitioners or those who have healing gifts, actually doing the seminar is actually going to help with all of that as well, particularly in that last session where we talk about Chiron.
Wow, that is interesting because, I can't think of any specific seminar or session I've had that addresses that wounded healer. And, when you're drawn to the healing arts, like, why you've been drawn to the healing arts, it's pretty obvious. So that's exciting. Well, I think, the strength of these seminars is that the participants get 6 sessions over 6 weeks with a focused agenda of working on these issues, which is why I like to talk about, kind of where we think we're going with the seminar. But also once people start signing up, that really dictates where we go as well, because we're working on the group. And for those people that haven't done a seminar with us, the 2 practitioners, we look through all of your intakes. We have all your photos up in front of us. So these sessions really are individually, they're created in the moment for the group with an agenda of working on these specific issues. And we also use a live Q&A, which we opened up for this interview just to see if anyone had any, questions relating to this seminar. And during the 6 weeks, they'll have communication with you, Mary, and Lisa, who's also leading this seminar. But one person did write in, and their question was about feeling tired, feeling exhausted, and particularly feeling tired all the time. Is this something, Mary, that this seminar might help with?
I would think the sense of being able to be in motion while staying centered would be really an important piece of working with that sense of tiredness. Also, as I said, each one of the planets governs a different aspect of the body, and so tiredness is often related to the endocrine system or adrenals or kidney, those kinds of things. So particularly the week that we would deal with the planets that govern those particular aspects of the body would be more helpful to them in some ways.
Yeah, I like that you brought up that idea of movement too. If we're not able to be in motion, we're obviously out of harmony with things in motion. Yeah, very cool. Well, Mary, I'm so looking forward to you and Lisa leading this seminar, and thank you so much for taking the time to answer some questions for us today.
Thank you. It's been really fun being with you, and I'm excited for the seminar.
Thanks. Me too. Me too. Well, thank you everyone for joining us at Healing for Life Together. We're committed to healing and transformation for individuals worldwide. We'll see you all November 7th for the start of the seminar. Thanks, Mary.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.